somewhere in a forest in West Africa. Right now, a chimpanzee walks up to one particular tree. Not for fruit. There's nothing to eat here. It picks up a stone, heavy, the size of a fist, and it hurls the rock against the trunk. The crack of it echoes through the trees. Then it gathers a few more and drops them into a hollow in the wood, and it walks away. And at the base of that tree there is a pile, a heap of stones, growing, added to again and again by animals that have no reason to, no food in it, no tool made from it. Just rocks, carried to a chosen tree, left in a place that seems to mean something. So here's the question I can't put down. What makes a place matter to a creature that has no word for matter? Because the last species we know of that started carrying stones to special spots and stacking them there and coming back, that was us. Now, slow down with me for a second, because this is the topic where it is easiest to fool yourself. Let me say the honest part first and plainly. No animal prays. There is no evidence, none, that any creature on this planet holds a thought about a god or a heaven or a soul that outlives the body. Set that down. Keep it on the table the whole time. But that was never really the question. The real one is quieter and stranger. Not whether they have the religion, but whether they have the raw materials, the feelings the thing is built out of, or a pull towards something bigger than yourself. The sense that a certain place, a certain moment, is somehow set apart from all the others. Because if those pieces turn out to live in other animals too, then a much older floor opens up beneath your feet. The scientists who found those stone piles were careful people, dozens of them, tracking chimpanzees across West Africa, and they did not write the word religion. What they wrote was that the heaps looked, in their words, reminiscent of human cairns. The piles of stone our own ancestors left are the places that mattered to them. The chimps go back to the same trees. They throw with a kind of performance to it, the loud crack of rock on wood ringing out across the forest. Some researchers think it's just a male showing off, making noise, marking ground. Other experts called even the comparison a reach, a human pattern pressed onto an animal's ordinary habit. And maybe that's all it is. But here is the part that's hard to walk past. They chose those trees, out of an entire forest, the same ones, over and over, marked with objects they carried there for no meal and no use. We don't have a word for that in an animal. The closest word we own, we only ever use about ourselves. Maybe a sacred place is nothing more, at the start, than a place some mind decided was worth returning to. Then there is the water. Deep in a forest in Tanzania, there are waterfalls that drop 80 feet through the rock, and when certain chimpanzees come around the bend and see one, they stop, they freeze, and then they start to move. Swaying, rhythmic, foot to foot, picking up rocks and throwing them, swinging out on the vines into the spray. And when it's finished, sometimes the chimp just sits, on a rock at the edge, and watches the water come down. The woman who spent her whole life with these animals, who knew them better than any human alive, said the most honest thing a scientist can say about a thing like this. She said she couldn't help feeling it came from something like awe and wonder. She did not say she knew. And here's what's worth sitting with. There's no mate to impress at that waterfall, no rival to scare off, no food. The chimp is often completely alone. It performs for an audience we cannot find, and then it sits and stares at the falling water as if it's asking the water something. Other scientists pushed back. Hard. They said she was painting a human face onto a creature that doesn't have one. And they are right, that we cannot know. But you have stood in front of something vast and gone quiet too. And nobody had to teach you how. Because awe is not a thought. It's older than thought. It's a thing that happens in the body before a single word shows up to explain it. The skin tightening into goosebumps, the breath that catches, the stillness, the strange shrinking of yourself in front of something enormous. The people who study this feeling in humans describe it the same way every single time. It's set off by vastness, by something so big it breaks the edges of your ordinary world, and it forces the mind to stop and make room for a thing that doesn't fit. And this is where the clean story we tell about ourselves starts to crack. That machinery, the response to the vast thing, the freezing, the sharpened attention, the body going still and small. It does not look like something that switched on the morning the first human was born. It looks like something we share. A brain meeting a thing larger than it can hold. If awe is the door that religion walks through, then the door was standing wide open long before there was anyone here to look through it and call what's on the other side God. Maybe the feeling came first, and the names came a very long time after. And then there is death, which is where every religion eventually arrives. There is a place in Kenya where elephants will go out of their way to do something no one ever taught them. They come to the bones of another elephant, not a fresh body. Bones, sun-bleached, scattered in the grass, sometimes years old, and they slow down. They reach out with their trunks and they touch them gently, turning them, running the tip along the curve of a skull. They will do this for an elephant they never met in life. And they will not do it for the bones of any other animal. Those they walk straight past. When the body is fresh, some have been seen laying branches and leaves across it, and keeping watch over it, reluctant to walk away. The woman who watched them for decades said the thing that stays with you is not the touching, it's the silence. The only sound is air moving slowly out through their trunks, as if even the birds have stopped. We do not know what is inside them in that silence. We can't. But something in that animal registers that these particular bones are not like other bones. That something is missing. That this spot, this scatter of white in the grass, is not the same as everywhere else. And the very first thing any faith ever did, before the gods, before the prayers, was refuse to let the dead simply be gone. So look at what we just did. The three of us, you and me and them. We watched an animal mark a chosen place with stones. We watched an animal go still and rapt in front of something vast. We watched an animal stand in silence over the dead. And every single one of those, the sacred place, the awe at the infinite, the refusal to let death be the end, is a root. Pull up the floorboards of any religion human beings have ever built, and you find those three things underneath, holding the whole structure off the ground. We have always told ourselves a story where this began with us. Where one day a person looked up and invented the holy out of nothing, but the parts were already here, scattered across the animals we share this planet with, and most of our wiring with, not the belief. We have no proof of the belief, not in them, and not in our own deep past. But the feelings that belief is built out of look far, far older than we are. So the question stops being about chimpanzees and elephants at all, and it turns, very quietly, to face you. Where do you actually think your own sense of the sacred came from? I keep coming back to that one chimp on the rock, the one sitting alone after the dance, watching the water fall and fall without end, its eyes tracking it down, going nowhere, asking nothing it could ever tell us. We will probably never know if there was anything behind those eyes that we would recognize, whether it felt small, whether it felt a single thing we would dare to call wonder. That door may stay shut forever, but whatever made it stop, whatever made it sit down, whatever made it stay and watch the falling water instead of turning and walking away, that instinct, the one that reaches toward the vast thing and goes quiet in front of it, may be older than the first human being, older than the first word, older than the first time anyone looked up at the sky and decided it was holy. We did not invent that reaching. We may have only inherited it and finally given it a name. So tell me, down in the comments, which moment made the wall between you and them feel thinnest? The stones at the tree, the chimp watching the water, or the silence over the bones? I want to know which one got you and why. And if some part of you wants to keep sitting with questions that don't hand you an answer at the end, subscribe and stay a while. I'll see you in the next one.